caftan in just a matter of minutes or hours, maybe? Or would you like to know how to make a beautiful garden grow in your window? Well, I would. And so would my special guest. And she has a little information for you, too. She has some diet hints that really work. She recently lost 40 pounds. Please welcome Mama Cass Elliot to Dinah. I've been waiting for you to come on this program for so long. And you lost 40 pounds, but then last time, how much did you lose?
120.
120?
Yes.
How long did it take you to do that?
5 months.
5 months.
Yes.
How long did it take you to put it back on?
Really, seriously, about a year.
About a year?
About a year.
Which was more
year and
fun.
a half. Which was more fun? Taking it off, strangely enough, because I got sick
And
after I took it off, and that's how I put it on.
Oh,
because
I see.
I got sick.
Well, what kind of a diet did you use this time?
This time I was a bit more sensible. The first time I did it, I was kind of impractical. I just stopped eating. But this time, I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, which is easy because we live in California and they're readily available here. And you just sort of have to watch it, you know, because those of us who are in the business, you know, stay up late. And it's very bad to eat before you go to bed. All those things we've read are true.
I know it.
You know, it is bad for
And
you.
that's the, you know, that late night snack. That is so, it always tastes better. Yeah, and ruins you.
But it's hard, as you know, it's hard when you're working all day. It's hard to take time to eat. And when the show is over and it's 9 or 9:30, then you say, well, now I can sit down and have dinner. And then you go to bed at midnight, so you don't really have time to work any of that off.
Do you have a protein diet or any specific thing that you write down, like a calorie count?
Well, I've been dieting for so many years that I can just look at something and know how many calories are in it and the carbohydrates and, you know, and who its mother was. You know, I really am familiar with it. But, you know, there are a lot of things you can't eat. I mean, instinctively, you know that you can't have bread with your meal, you know, and you shouldn't eat potatoes and rice but
corn on the cob.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things, you know. If you want something like that, then you have to give it up somewhere else. So you say, okay, I'm not going to have any cream.
When you go up and down in your weight like that, that's murder on your wardrobe.
Well, my clothes aren't exactly that fitting, you know. So 40 or 50 pounds, believe it or not, really doesn't show in one of my clothes, because I wear things like we're going to make later. I wear a lot of caftans, I wear a lot of full things, and I wear pants outfits with kind of loose tops. So the first 40 or 50 isn't noticeable. But after,
are you going to lose more?
Well, yeah, I am. The thing of it was, I've never really felt uncomfortable being very heavy until just recently. And I thought, well, now, wait a minute, you know, all these years I've said I felt okay, and I have. Now, all of a sudden, I guess I'm getting older, and I think I should, you know, lose a little weight.
Well, I tell you, until you get it all down, we have a wonderful solution. You mentioned the caftans, and we have, come over here. Do you like to sew, by the way?
Well, no, I don't. I don't really know how, so maybe if I knew how.
Oh, well, we're going to teach you. We have a lady here who is a sewing expert. I want you to say hello to Miss Carol Bird. Hi, Carol. You have a sewing boutique?
Yes, off the bolt.
I see. Off the boat, is that?
Off the boat, yeah.
That's great. Well, we were going to talk today about caftans because Cass is wearing quite a large number of them.
Well, thank you. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
All right.
Well, I brought today a short version of a caftan, which you can make without a pattern. It's very, very simple.
That's pretty.
Yeah, there's just one seam under the arm, and then we added lots of rickrack. And the best thing about this rickrack is that if you buy the kind that doesn't curl on the edges, you can just sew it on with your sewing machine. You don't have to tack each corner down, you know, which really takes a lot of time. It says on the package, will not curl. Oh. So if you buy that kind,
oh, I see. But it'll launder.
This is totally machine washable in warm water.
Warm water.
And both the trim and the garment, you can just throw them in. And the great thing about caftans is, as you say, they're really feminine and flattering for almost any kind of figure.
I love them. I wear them a lot at home because they're so comfortable. You can really relax.
You really relax. And depending on the fabrics you use, you can really create lots of different kinds of looks. This one is an acrylic double knit, and it would really be a very plain garment if you hadn't added the trim. And we put it at the shoulders and on the sleeves, and it kind of creates an oriental look.
But you can't wash that.
This is totally machine washable also.
This is too, with all of this
all the
needle
trim,
point?
everything, yes.
Gee.
The trim comes like that. Now this garment is a much more elegant one And this, believe it or not, is polyester satin jersey and polyester crepe sleeves. This is machine washable.
Permanently pressed?
Yes, permanently pressed pleats. Yes, it's really easy to sew with. And again, you get an entirely different look because of the different kinds of fabrics. Now, both these caftans have set-in sleeves.
And is that what you're going to teach us to do today?
Yeah, because it really is one of the main problems that sewers have. So I thought we'd go through the steps and show really how easy it can be.
Okay.
Okay. This is a typical sleeve pattern. And one cuts it out. Be sure to cut out the notches. And after you cut it out, be sure that you take a little stitch or put a pin right here where it says on the pattern marker for shoulder seam. This point is the point that matches the shoulder seam on the bodice.
Have we got, now for instance on here, have we got one on here?
Yes.
You've already sewn that together?
Yes, this is already sewn together. I want to point out one other thing. We run our gathering stitches between the notches on the flat seam sleeve before it's sewn together.
And that's on all the patterns. They have little
they're all
kinds of directions and things like that.
If you just read them, if you can read, you can sew, really.
I guess that's been our problem. No. It's like somebody who tells you when you ask directions, you can't miss it. I can read, and I don't sew too well. Go right ahead.
Okay. Here's our shoulder marker that we've placed at the top, and these are our gathering stitches along the top of the sleeve. Now, this is the underarm seam of the sleeve. Here's another little trick. If you place your pins perpendicular to the line of stitching, and if you sew with just a slightly larger than normal stitch, you can sew right over the pins and not have to baste. It saves a lot of time.
Sure. That I found out the first week when we started doing the show. I've learned more things on this show.
They're little tricks, yeah. Okay, now if you reverse your sleeve and you put the right sides together, we've got a sample bodice here, match your underarm seams. Right. And again, we're going to place our pins perpendicular to the line of stitching.
That didn't look too hard so far. Next cast?
Well, I'm not going to commit myself to it.
Okay, next you take your shoulder marker, the threads that we put in, and you match it with the shoulder seam on the bodice, like this.
Never comes out even with me. I sure hope that you got both sides even there.
Me too. Now we want to match our notches.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty handy.
See?
Pretty easy.
It's got to come out even.
Okay, now, here's where the trick comes in. You've run your gathering stitches, you pull your thread, gather up the sleeve so that it fits into the bodice, and now, if you're careful, and place again your pins perpendicular to the line of stitching. Place them fairly close together.
If you pull the thread after you've gathered it till it just fits inside there?
Right, What you're doing is you're taking up the extra fabric in the sleeve so that it matches the outside, which is the bodice.
And you have a little fullness in there, which you need for a sleeve.
Right. And then you place your pins perpendicular, and all you do now is sew right on top of the pins all the way around the sleeve. Okay?
You want to try? Come on, sit down.
Okay.
I can never keep it going.
Yeah, this one you can.
Just put your knee on the inside there. This sleeve is already pre-pinned. You just sew on top of your gathering.
Okay, don't treat me like it. She's doing it, folks.
Look at that.
Look at this. I got a career on the side now. Not too fast. I may not get it yet.
No, you're doing great. Looks great.
Oh, I hope my grandmother's watching. She'll be so proud.
Just a little farther.
A little further? You sure? Haven't I done enough?
No, you're going to do the whole thing. You may wear it tonight. Okay, that's it.
That's it? Can I get up?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the part I know how to do.
Yeah, but there's a thing on the back. You didn't even have to do that. Isn't there a thing on the back of the machine?
Oh, but that's the best part.
I know it.
No, until
Easy.
it up.
Oh, see? You look what you did. You made it.
Do it right?
You made it.
Far out.
This happens to be your size, too.
Now you can do it myself. You made it. Aren't you proud of yourself? Well, show me what I did. See how sense of accomplishment. Oh, it is. You managed to keep pretty busy. I know, because we've been trying for 2 years to get you on the show.
I haven't been busy that long, I don't think. No, I have just come back from Europe. I was in Europe for, took my daughter, went to Europe and did an album there. And that was really exciting. That was nice.
Oh, they say that it's such fun over there. They really was. They're really interesting. I wanted to ask you, when you do have any time in that busy schedule of yours, how do you like to spend it best? What's the most fun?
Besides playing with my child, which is obvious, I think, for any mother, you know, especially a mother who works. You know, when you have to spend a little time away, you really relish that time at home. I read a little bit, and I crochet a little bit, and I watch television. And I go out and carouse and burn down buildings.
Very constructive life. No, but it is tough. You mentioned, you know, when you work and you have to be away from your daughter. And your daughter's name is Owen?
Yes.
That's an unusual name.
It's Welsh.
That's a pretty...
That doesn't explain it being unusual, but it is Welsh.
But is that a family name?
No, no, not really. Right before I gave birth to Owen, I was reading a Welsh book, and there was a great name in it, Bronwyn, which I thought was a fabulous name, but a little unwieldy, I thought at the time. So they came to me and they said, well, what is this child going to be named? And I had just had her a little while ago, and nobody told me you didn't have to name a child right away. So you know, so I just said, well, Owen, you know.
Owen.
And then I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to have to say girl most of the time.
Well, she has a middle name. Vanessa's her middle name.
Oh.
So she has the option if she ever wants to use another name.
No, but it is. It's a lovely name.
And we're going to peaceful sound.
Yeah. Well, she's that kind of a person. She really is. And you have great communication with her.
Yeah, she's terrific.
She's
my friend. Besides being my child and having that relationship, we also share a lot of things because being divorced, she and I are together, you know, a lot. And she takes messages for me and writes it down. And it's, you know, it's like having a friend you really can trust, you know.
Oh, that's so lovely. The time that you do spend with her is so well spent, obviously, because, you know, when I was talking to the two of you, you asked Owen, I must tell you this, that when I asked Cass to do the show, I said, do you suppose Owen would come on? And she said, I'll ask her. You know, so you did ask her, and thank heaven she said, okay, I was delighted. But you consult her on many things, don't you?
Well, anything that really, you know, that I feel that involves our family. For instance, she said to me, I don't know if we have time for this. We have a few seconds. She said to me about a couple of weeks ago, she said, you know, Mom, Wally really needs a couple of brothers and 3 sisters. And I said, wow, you know, that's quite a lot. And I explained to her that in order for us to have any more children, you know, that I would have to be married. And she said, well, can't we find a man? And I said, well, you know, I don't know if I want to get married again. And we talked about that for a while. And then I tried to explain to her that I asked her why it was important that we should have other children. She said, well, then the other child would have someone to play with. And I thought that was a valid point, and I told her that. And we started discussing the fact that a lot of children that don't have homes, or mommies or daddies, and maybe we could invite one of them to live with us. And now she's deciding about that. And if that would be agreeable to her, I would love to adopt a child.
Oh, that's a lovely thought.
But I think she should be consulted. I think it's her home, too.
I think so, too.
I mean, I don't consult her if I think she should go to bed, mind you.
No, to know exactly where to draw the line, so that you don't put too much responsibility on them, you know, is a little...
It's hard to know. I mean, everybody... I've never been a mother before. And it's hard to know exactly where the line is, but I'd like to have her know that she can.
But your line is drawn with affection, you know, which is so sweet, and that, you know, it's so valuable because the lines of communication break down when all of a sudden, after having been terribly affectionate, you assert yourself and say, well, you're going to do it that way because that's the way I say. And why do you say that? I say that because it's so. Well, you know, those things don't work anymore.
But every once in a while, you know, I find myself saying, because I said so.
Yeah. Well,
which is something I vowed that I would never do. You know, you have all these plans and you're just going to have a child and you say, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do something different.
I vowed that too. But there comes that moment
your back gets to the wall and there's nothing you can do.
And they're saying, why? But why can't I? And
belt up because I said so.
I said so. That's the best answer in the world. We're going to meet Owen next, right here at Dinah's We're going to talk to Owen all about Europe or anything she wants to talk about next. Right?
Just turn into a turtle.
I know. Listen, you went to Europe with Mommy not too long ago?
Right.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
You're glad to be home, though, huh?
Yeah.
You're going to be a great interview, Owen. I can tell right now.
I told her, I said, now when Dinah asked you a question, you go ahead
and
answer.
Did you say, yeah, she did. That's right. And you're absolutely right, sweetheart. Do you have a garden at home?
Yeah.
You do? Because I read, how old are you, darling?
5 years old.
5 years.
3
wonderful
words.
Old. Yeah. Well, I must tell you that not too long ago, I was reading a letter from a gentleman who wrote me, well, really a charming letter, and he'd written 28 books on gardening. And he was so fascinating, the books were so beautiful that I invited him to come on this program with you because I thought you might enjoy it, and I know I will. Please say hello to Mr. Jack Kramer. Welcome. Welcome. This is Owen. Owen. And this is Cass Elliot. Well, Jack, I was telling him about your books, and I was fascinated with the idea of the window boxes. You've got an endless number of ideas, thousands and thousands of ideas for all kinds of plants. But we thought perhaps this would be something that Owen could really indulge in. She could make herself a window box.
I think a window box is great for children. I mean, they're easy to make, and you don't have too much of a garden, but you have enough to occupy the child. Now, here, Cass and Dinah, we've used a commercial window box, redwood box. But you can also make your own window box if you want to.
But this can be used indoors or out?
It certainly can. You can use it indoors or out.
For instance, if you live in New York and you don't have room outside to hang
That's another
your
thought,
box,
yes.
then you just leave the window open and you've got your indoor-outdoor garden. Is that true?
You can do that, surely.
And flies. Now, what have you got in here, Jack?
Well, we sort of simulated what we put in here beforehand. In other words, most people just put plants into soil and they want them to grow and they don't grow properly. You have to prepare the soil base. And here in this plastic box we put in a layer of gravel. Excuse me.
That's in the bottom?
In the bottom.
Now that's so that the water will filter through?
So the water will not stagnate. It'll evaporate. And then we've added some soil and we put in some charcoal chips. So you can see those on top.
What
Well,
is
the
that?
charcoal keeps the soil sweet. It doesn't get sour then.
Oh, I see. And then, because when it's in an enclosed area that way,
That's
it's not, I see.
So then you have good soil to make your plants grow. Now, Owen, do you think you can help us a little bit and fill this up with some soil? Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Would you, darling?
Yes,
What kind of
yes,
plants
Mr.
do you
Kramer.
recommend best for
Full or a half?
Oh, why don't you fill it all as much as you can?
just, yeah, that's right. About as full as you can, darling.
We can use all
You gotta
sorts
start.
of plants. Annuals, perennials.
But like, what is this? This is,
Well, this is a little zinnia. This is an annual.
but
And-
that's, I've never seen any of that small.
Well, that's a little dwarf zinnia.
Beautiful.
Isn't it pretty?
Yes.
And what we started here was I put some petunias in the front. What you want to do is use cascading plants so they flow, sort of hanging gardens is what we're after. Now, would anybody like to do a little of this?
Sure.
Sure.
Cass, you want to do some? I'll do
Yes.
some.
Now, when you take these plants out, it's important to take them out with the root ball attached. And the way you do that is just hit it on the bottom a little bit.
Would you like to hit it on the bottom?
Don't mind if I do.
Okay.
Now, here's one out already.
Yeah.
Now, it's all set to go in place. We dig a little hole here.
There.
Is that enough?
Is that coming out now?
Yep.
Good.
Put it on the bottom, huh?
I
And
did.
this one's already out.
Mine's out. Now,
Well,
I
there you have it. No, oh, you have the begonia. All we have to do is dig little holes here and set them in place.
my begonias
Which
go...
one should go in first?
Well, let's see, I don't want to mess up the painting. Oh, we weren't going to put begonias in. We're going to put petunias in.
I know, we forgot.
Doggone it. No, I
Well,
forgot.
then what am I holding these begonias?
Because we are now going to have a begonia
We're now going to have a
arrangement,
begonia
Cass.
garden.
Sitting around with a hot begonia.
Petunia, we're going to have a begonia garden.
There, now
This
that doesn't
begonia
look too
looks totally
bad.
out of place in there, I
No,
must say.
I'm going to put a petunia in there somewhere.
Now here's where we put the petunia and we'll balance the whole thing so everybody will be happy.
That water for?
The water is to... Wait, what is the water for, Jack?
So we can sort of sprinkle the plants a little bit, make them look fresh, and so they'll be healthy and grow.
About geraniums. You want to put one in?
No,
somewhere?
I think we've got enough, Dinah.
Okay.
Now let me tell you something about...
It's all right, little thing. It's all right. No, go right ahead, Jack. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Let me say something about color. When you select your plants, try and select colors that go together. Like if you want a formal look, you'll select white and blue flowers. If you want an informal look, why oranges, pinks, reds, things like that.
That must be the story of my life, because I always select the warm colors for everything.
But if you put all those colors together, white, blue, pink, red, you end up with nothing. It just doesn't look good.
Why is white and blue considered more formal? Because of the white?
I think so, from weddings and funerals, maybe. I don't
They're
know.
cooler. They're cooler.
Sorry I asked.
Oh, thank you, Jack.
Oh, wait.
Okay. You ready, sweetheart? I'm going to do this song for Owen, and you can just put more of that in. I think we need to. We get it right up to here, okay? Your mom will be back in a minute, okay? When the sun in the morning peeps over the hill and caresses the dewdrops round my windowsill, then my heart fills with gladness when I hear the trill of the birds in the treetops on Mockingbird Hill. Tra-la-la, tweedledee-dee, it gives me a thrill to wake up in the morning to the mockingbird's trill. Tra-la-la, tweedledee-dee, there's peace and goodwill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. Got a three-cornered plow and an acre to till, and a mule that I bought for a $10 bill. There's a tumble-down shack and an old rusty mill, but it's my home, sweet home, up on Mockingbird Hill. Tra-la-la, tweedledee-dee, it gives me a thrill to wake up in the morning to the mockingbird's trill. Tra-la-la, tweedledee-dee, there's peace and goodwill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. When it's late in the evening, I climb up the hill and survey all my kingdom while everything's still. Only me and the sky and an old whippoorwill singing songs in the twilight on Mockingbird Hill. Tra-la-la, tweedledee-dee, it gives me a thrill to wake up in the morning to the mockingbird's trill. Tra-la-la, tweedledee-dee, there's peace and goodwill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. You're welcome as the flowers on Mockingbird Hill. On Mockingbird Hill. On Mockingbird Hill. There. What do you think? Think it'll work? I'm gonna put some dairy on it. That's gorgeous. You did it yourself, Bobby.
They did the cheese on that too.
Look at that. Great. Look at what we did. Da-da-da.
Beautiful.
Thank you
We
for
really
coming.
scored. You got a flower box, I got
That's
a
right.
dress.
That's right.
More often.
Come back. Come back.
Absolutely.
Will you come back? You will. She will. I know
said
she
she
will.
would. She
If
would.
Yeah, we should bring some geranium. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely having you. I had a million things I wanted to ask you.
Then I
But you-
brought my crocheting. I even got halfway from the house
Oh.
and went back to get it. 'Cause I
No
thought we were gonna talk.
kidding. All right, we'll talk about crocheting and we'll cook next time.
That'd be good.
Okay? Got it. You heard it right there. She's coming back.